So I need your help, right? I have noticed that I've been going on quite a few dates, and I think I am giving the impression to women that I'm not romantically interested in them, right? And I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but I have a suspicion that I'm like talking to them too normally. Like maybe I'm not like flirting enough, or I think I might be. I talk to them like maybe like in a very friendly way, and I'm not like stirring the juices.
So they feel that you are not romantic enough. Is that their?
Well, I think it's not. I don't. Well, I know I'm not romantic enough because I'm not romantic. But I don't. I mean, as far as I know, I'm not romantic. But maybe you. Well, maybe you could tell me what's romantic. What is romantic?
What is romantic for me? Well, for me, it can represent several scenarios, and it's very it depends on the context. Depends from what I'm living in that specific moment, and for example, my partner or whatever.
No, not your partner though. Not your partner.
No,
The first when you meeting someone for the first time.
the romantic. It's, oh my god, romantic is it's a very feminine energy. The moment that I listen to the word romantic, it appeals more to the feminine than to the masculine.
So when you go out with a guy for the first time, right? Do you start feeling anything based upon what he says or does, like, or you know what I mean? Like how do you start feeling like
For me, it's like, so human beings, men, women in general, they have this way of communicating through their nonverbal communication. You know, all the movements, facial signs, and all that stuff, and which is normal, of course. But the first thing that I am really aware about is about the energy that I'm feeling when I'm in a dynamic, when I'm starting a dynamic, when I meet a guy, a man, or that man approaches me. That's the first thing that I am wary about. It's the energy. The energy. Not much about how is he dressed or about how he talks, but eventually there will be this moment when we start engaging at the first time.
Yeah.
The tone of his voice.
Yeah.
How fast or how not so fast does he speaks?
Yeah.
How is he willing to stay in present, in total silence, because he doesn't feel he needs to say anything just not to feel uncomfortable, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And normally these are the things that I'm going to talk about myself as a woman, and
I'm asking you about you. I'm not looking for. I mean, only you know. You're the only one inside your body, so you can't really speak about anything other.
If I'm going to talk about myself and the way I feel,
yeah, of course,
man approaching myself, it's just like, oh my god, this is a nightmare. How come they are doing this? where did they learn to approach a woman this way? And it's not most of the times when they approach me and suddenly I have this conversation with them, but I just don't feel attracted to that energy anymore, because I can see that they are not showing themselves. They are showing this fabricated personality that they think they have to be in order to get someone's attention, like get my attention, and that for me it's just like that's just fake.
Yeah.
I want a man to approach me like bam, like he doesn't
bam?
he doesn't he's not afraid of approaching me and talk with me.
Yeah.
It's just if it just feels like he wants to engage with me, and it just does that.
So you're saying you want authentic confidence is what it sounds like. If I can sum it up really, because you said if they're pretending to be confident, or if they're making up something or using a pickup line to appear confident, and you can tell that it's not really them, you won't like that.
No, because I can feel it. I can feel that they are not being real from the beginning. So I'm not going to spend my energy and my time in engaging with someone that is not being honest from the beginning.
Okay. Now here's where my problem is starting, right?
Go.
I am the real me, right? But I think the real me doesn't in a way I'm confident, I guess, in my own way, where I talk to you very, very normally. Like I will talk to you very, very normally. I will talk to you like and have a very normal conversation. I don't think I really set out to impress anyone. And I don't think I do anything super extra. I think I'm my real self, but I think my real self is not romantic. You know?
I know. Or perhaps you might be hiding that part of you that wants to be romantic, and somehow, because you have listened to all these things and information and narratives around you that says that men shouldn't be romantic at the first place because women will reject them or so, then you are just
no.
Okay.
Listen to what, man? I'm listening to me. This is the thing is I'm talking like what I'm saying is I talk to them in very, very normal conversation. Like I would be talking to them the same way if they were a guy, and maybe I'm not flirtatious or enough, or I think it's very interesting because you said how you feel, whatever, right? And I think that when I'm talking to someone, I lean towards maybe making someone think and instead of feel. So I'm not creating this energy, like it's more about I start talking about, I don't know, I guess
random stuff.
Nah, just stuff maybe you just don't talk about on a date, because I'll ask someone about themselves and we'll start talking about things and how we our something will come up and we'll talk about what we think about these things, and maybe I start getting into my little philosophical thing, or I try to avoid politics and stuff like this, but sometimes people this is like the main topic in their whole world. This is politics, and if that starts, then it's really over. You know what I'm saying? it's not, I think I end up talking about fairly non-sexy things, non-romantic things,
And why do you think you do that?
because I think this is really how I am. I mean,
Okay.
maybe it started back in this, back in the day when I was younger, you know, oh, don't flirt with the girl. You have to let her know you see her as a human being and that you value her mind and that you are, like all these things. And I think maybe I start thinking like this, and then I start talking to them in a way that's very even, you know, and I don't give them the impression that I want them.
So
You know what I
that is
mean?
not that is not you. That is conditioning.
What you mean? It's me now because I got conditioned.
Yeah.
I got
Who you
conditioned.
are now,
Hmm.
does not mean that you are being real. It just means
Yeah,
you have been going through the process of your life,
yeah.
but nevertheless you have been conditioned to be the
Hmm.
person that you are today,
Yeah,
that you believe
yeah.
you must be, and you are completely convinced that you are like that, but you aren't.
Oh yeah. How you know? How you know I'm not like that?
Because I feel it.
You feel it?
Because I feel it, and because I have my own experience
Hmm.
when I'm not being myself,
Hmm.
when I'm meeting a man, because I do that also, and I
I
know that I'm being fake also.
Oh no! I see. I don't think I don't know. I think
Because
I.
there's a gain. If
Hmm.
we if we are, I don't know about you, but
Hmm.
I, I'm going to ask you: do you want a relationship? Do you want to be with someone else? Do you want to what is that you want in terms of dynamic?
I don't want anything.
You don't want anything.
I want whatever that's going to happen to happen. I'm not like
Cool.
a. I mean,
And
in a
what
certain. Hmm? Yeah. What?
and when you don't, so so if you want what is going to happen, it's going to happen. And is there any meaning attached to that? So if you engage with a woman and the things happen as it's supposed to happen,
Yeah.
do you go back to your life, and you are okay, totally okay with that? And
This is the. I see. This is what I'm saying. I think this is the problem. Like, I think I generally try not to have any expectations.
okay,
I don't try to force something to happen, and I don't mean like force something to happen, but I don't try to necessarily lead it in any direction. And I think I think I have in a lot of ways a very passive approach, and I can take it or leave it. I don't like if nothing happens, I'm cool. If something happens, I'm cool. You know. And I will say that I suspect that my first my first girlfriend, the girl who took my virginity, right? And she took it.
ah,
she she was very aggressive. Like she was a very
dominant.
not dominant. Not dominant. I'm and this wouldn't like I'm not a very dominatable person. I like she was just very she had her agenda of what she wanted to happen. You know what I mean? So there was not really you couldn't really say no to her. Like it was, you know what I mean? And
I
so she
know.
was just very, very aggressive like that. And I think having this first experience, maybe, and on a different level, like with my mom, also my mom was always a very affectionate woman and pinching my cheeks all the time and let me hold you and give me a hug. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm just like maybe really used to receiving. So like when I encounter a woman who maybe finds me attractive and she doesn't care, like if she is interested in me and she wants something to happen, then she's not thinking about if he really likes me or whatever, like, or you know what I mean, like I think
Mm.
she's going for what she wants. And in and in that situation, I think I'm kind of used to that in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not really I'm not like throwing my energy at them. I'm,
And
I'm
women,
assessing, I'm
and women,
assessing myself. Yeah.
women are these very complex beings,
Hmm.
and I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
Uh, I can sense it.
Hmm.
We if a woman is connected with herself, she
Hmm.
will sense all that is running on the backstage,
Hmm.
on what is happening on the
Hmm.
physical arena.
Uh-huh.
She will sense that. She will sense that there's something distorted. She will feel that, and that is not a problem at all.
Hmm.
That's not a problem unless you have an agenda behind it,
Hmm.
like that your first girlfriend had. She had
Uh-huh.
an agenda and she
Uh-huh.
wanted to make it real and manifest.
Manifest.
Yeah, she wanted to
Ah,
manifest the thing that she wanted on her agenda, and she did.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
she completely did. She
Yeah,
manifested
she
on
she
the real physical something that she wanted, but she had an agenda. She had an agenda behind.
hmm.
So when you have an agenda behind,
Hmm.
and which probably is where most human beings are currently
Hmm.
operating from,
Hmm.
you are not um, creating a life or living for with love, for
Hmm.
love, in
Hmm.
a love state, which is your natural state.
Hmm.
Because love
Who
doesn't
them
does
or me? Them or me?
anyone, anyone, you and them. If there is something on the back, an agenda behind, if in that agenda can be so subtle, it can be so unconscious that we're not even aware that we are doing what we are doing,
Hmm.
and why we are doing it, and that's why we keep having the same results over and over again.
Hmm.
Okay, when we are aware about that agenda and we completely uh, dismiss that agenda and just, it's not even about trying.
Hmm.
Even trying, it's something that will put you out from your integrity, from your own being, because you are trying to do something to get something, you know. And when we are talking about love, when we are talking about intimate relationships, and if I really want to have that, I have to be willing to stop trying.
Yeah. See, I don't know, because my impression is, right. I'm giving what my thought is I'm giving the impression that I don't want them. I'm giving them the
Okay,
impression that I'm not interested in them romantically. I'm not interested in them sexually. I think that's the impression that I give them by not having an agenda.
but
If we use this theory that you just
is it something that you think, or is it something that you know for sure?
um I think um well, how would I say I know for sure? How knowing for sure would mean I asked them and then they told me.
because what you are sharing and telling me is you think you are giving the impression to those women that you are not romantic enough. So if you think you don't know,
no, you got to
no,
be clear what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm giving them the impression. This is my theory. I'm not saying I'm giving them the impression that I'm not romantic enough. I'm giving them the impression that I'm not interested in them romantically or sexually, I think. Because you can be interested in someone physically and romantically you could be interested in someone sexually without being interested in them romantically. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'm not giving them the vibe that carnal. Do you know this word, carnally?
Carnal, yes, carnal.
Yeah, I think I don't give them the impression that I am carnally interested in them.
And why would you be giving an impression of someone that you aren't?
I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm not saying that I'm not.
I know.
I think I just don't I don't think that I don't think it's my way. I just don't think I'm like that. Or maybe it takes me a little bit of time to warm up, and in a lot of ways I'm shy. You know what I mean? I'm also pretty shy, but I don't think anyone thinks that I'm shy, right? So if do you know what I mean when I say that? Just first of all,
yes.
Like I think when I look back over my life or whatever, and the perception people might have of me is that I'm not a shy person, right?
Okay.
But if I am shy on the inside, which I know that I can be, this seems like I am not interested. Like, because they think he's not shy. He actually just doesn't like me.
I know what you mean, and I'm going to share with you. For example, my life, I have always been perceived as like this powerful, confident, go-getter woman. I have been perceived all my life like this, but inside, I am emotional. I cry. I am fragile. I'm super vulnerable, super emotional. And that was something that I have never, expressed or put it out, because that's, how do you say that? Not that to say, but I was feeling comfortable about being perceived that way, because otherwise people and men or women, didn't matter, wouldn't see me as a weak person, because for me that meant I would be a weak person. Like people seeing myself crying or getting emotional, and I wasn't willing to be to show up in that way. So it seems like, and we are living, both you and I, in a different with different patterns, may I say. Like, for example, you are a little bit shy, but people see you that you are not shy at all, because you show up like this hollis, like someone who just go get what he wants, and he shows up whatever he wants. And people have this perception like, oh my God, if he's doing that, or if she's doing that, it's because she's blah 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 blah. But actually, that is not the real thing. That is not what's happening.
Well, let me ask you before you go on. because now this is my assessment of myself. Do you see, before I told you this, do you think that I would be shy, or do you think that I show up places like, yeah, I belong here? You know what I mean? Like,
what I felt since we have started talking was that you have like this easiness to engage with people at the first. Yeah, you just talk with person and with people, and for you, it's just like it's easy for you. Whilst for some other people, it may not. And this and that thing that you do, which is something that I do as well. This can be perceived like someone that is not shy. Isn't shy, you know? When actually you are shy. When actually you are, you have all this. You have a being. You are a being that actually it's shy. It is shy.
Yeah.
But let me just add this so I can give you some context. But because we are, I have engaged with you and in a more creative thing that I wanted to do in the beginning. For me, it didn't matter at all if you were shy or not. But on another dimension, which is the intimate relationship dimension, that can be something relevant. Go.
You see you see what the challenge is. This is the issue here. Like, the perception, or it doesn't match up. So in an intimate situation, if you can imagine that I'm going to behave the same exact way, if there's 10 people in the room and we're in the market, I'm going to act the same exact way when it's just you and I alone in a room. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm realizing that this is a problem, because I think I really, when you're alone in the room, and especially if a woman is attracted to you, because if she's not attracted to you, then it's fine and there's no problem. But if she is attracted to you, I I, I speculate that just talking to her normally is, in a way, can be taken as a rejection. Like, this guy is alone with me in this room, and he's just talking to me, and he ain't even trying nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
let me tell you one thing.
I'll tell you.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem.
Okay.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. You are just being who you are. You know. And if women around you, or the ones that you engage with, or the ones that engage with you, they feel that is not of your concern. That is not of your business. Why would you change something about yourself, or start creating a problem when there is no problem at all, if you are being exactly who you are?
Because then, okay, see, here's where it gets complicated, right?
Let me hear your agenda.
Yes, because then it does come back to, let's say I actually am interested in the girl and I do find her attractive and I want to take her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
And sometimes, that's in there somewhere. I'm sure it's in there somewhere, because if I'm attracted to her, then yes, it would be nice that something would happen. But I think oftentimes I start getting in the moment and talking normally, and I get on certain topics, and And I sometimes forget about like I kind of forget the plan. I kind of forget what the goal is. You know what I mean?
Because relationships are not about goals. And those women can sense that behind your actions there is some kind of goal, there is some kind of gain that you are trying to acquire or to attain or whatever. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I can't, you know, of course I'm not a woman, so I can't really know exactly how some women might think, but I'm thinking it's like the opposite. I think I'm giving them, I think they don't think that I have he's just pretending. I don't think they think I'm pretending. I think they think that I don't like them. That's the issue. Like for me, I don't really think that because um
and why does it matter for you?
because if I'm interested in them and I don't show them and then they cuz you know actually you know why it is? Because it would be one thing if they thought if they actually knew that oh this is just as how he is, they could say okay he's just you know I just got to warm him up a little bit or wait for him to warm up and let something happen, which does happen from time to you know often. This is what happens often, right? But if they have the perception that I'm not shy, that I if they have this impression that I'm not shy and whatever they think about me not making that move towards them is signaling to them that you know he doesn't like me, he doesn't find me attractive, and if there's one thing I have heard many times, right? Men for men, I don't like genderizing things, but I think there's the possibility that this is fairly true. Men go through their life dealing with rejection all the time. This is a part of the male existence. Like we have to be the ones to approach and we have to go after things and try and fail. And generally speaking, a woman is more on the receiving end. Like you know, oftentimes they don't really their idea of flirting is so minute that it always gives them a way to not feel rejected. Like they don't often go up to guys asking for their phone numbers or hey, you know what I mean? So you know they're used to like yeah if a guy is interested in me he's going to come up to me if he wants me he's going to try to kiss me he's going to try to do something so when you don't do this then they're going to be like oh he don't like me he's not interested in me and after this happens once they will never want to experience this again. You know what I'm saying? So they won't want to be rejected a second time. So they might not ever even want to hang out with me ever again.
When they reject you?
Well, I mean, in a sense, I think they feel like I rejected them first. And once again, I'm just guessing all of this.
Uh, I think I feel that you are rejecting yourself.
This is possible as well.
That's why they feel that you are rejecting them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be any rejection in between.
Yes.
You are rejecting your own truth in that moment.
Uh-huh.
Because the truth only lies in the moment. And it's like you are carrying all the hollis, all this process and all these experiences in relationship dynamics, and you are carrying all that to the next and to the next and to the next when that is not, that is the problem. The problem is not about women's perception about whether you are shy or not, whether they feel that or not. The problem, which isn't the problem, this is part of the process, is you're still, and you keep trying to do things in a way and you started to believe that they feel rejected, that they feel that they feel that they are not that you are not interested in them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say I have been told this also. I have been told this also. So it's not coming out of nowhere. I think that we go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because when we are dealing with something that is not familiar to us, normally we tend to defend, we tend to reject, we tend to push away because it's not familiar, because we are used to what is familiar, and sometimes all of the times when things whatever it has become familiar. Normally it's not exactly what we want, but was what we needed in the past, and that's why we have created, in order to protect us from some harm, something that was happening outside of us. But when, like, the real thing, the real stuff shows up in our path, our first thing will be to push away it, and we start creating all those narratives, sabotaging ourselves, like, oh my god, they are feeling that I'm not interested in them, and you're just like, okay, so they are not interested, so they feel that I'm not interested in them. And what do you feel about you believing in that narrative?
I don't know. I don't know that I'm starting out with this narrative. I think that when I try to process an experience, like I try to process an interaction, what just happened here, and what has happened many times, like why is this happening? I'm not thinking this stuff in the moment. This is, like I said, like usually I'm like my shyness is kind of compartmentalized. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's shyness, and obviously I don't have a problem talking to anybody normally or anything like that. It doesn't matter who it is, like what they look like, how famous they are, or whatever, how many people there are. I mean, I got an issue with like DJing in front of people, but this is something else. But like generally speaking, like interacting with people, I don't really like have a problem. But I'm not like actually thinking of a narrative, like I'm not behaving a certain way, thinking like in the moment when I'm talking to someone, I'm really actually in the moment, and I'm into talking to them about like normal things and stuff like that. But I think I don't I don't throw the vibe out.
And the vibe can be sometimes not throwing anything at all.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is okay. This is why it always depends on who, you have to take the person into account or whatever, right? And I think I was talking to someone else about the um who's someone famous that you really respect or look up to or find really attractive? Just anybody. Just think of someone.
Someone famous that I'm attracted to, or let me say, oh my god.
She's like, I ain't attracted to nobody. Anybody.
Let's say Maroon's 5 singer. It's the one that's coming out. Adam's Levine?
Okay, Adam Levine or whatever, right?
Adam
Okay.
Levine, yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say you walking. I'm gonna give you an example, right? I'm not just so you know, I'm not equating myself to him, but I have to come with an extreme so that you understand the point, right? Let's say you walk down the street and there's like a homeless man laying on the street or whatever, and he's drunk or something, and you say, "Hey, sir, how you doing?" And he gives you the finger, right?
You're right.
It doesn't mean anything to you, right? Like you don't care. But let yourself come in contact with Adam Levine, and you say, "Hey, Adam, I really like your music," or whatever, and he gives you the middle finger. It will mean something so much more.
That's why I've asked you previously.
Yeah.
What was the meaning behind? It must have a meaning. If an unconscious meaning, something that is on the back of your mind that means something, and obviously, if I have no a connection with someone like an homeless person on the street, and if he gives me a finger, for me it's just like, okay. But if there is something that I'm really interested about, I will just, perhaps I'm doing something wrong, perhaps I have a problem, because otherwise he wouldn't give me the finger.
No, I think you mixing up my example.
No, I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about myself.
No,
I'm
saying what I'm saying is it would bother you more that that he Absolutely. Did it, that Adam Levine gave you the finger, right? Yep. And you might even think he's a jerk. The homeless guy that does it, you probably don't. It doesn't matter to you whether he's a jerk or not. You don't care. It didn't hurt your feelings. You go about your life. You know what I mean? Mm. But if Adam Levine does it, then you're gonna be like, oh, who's he think he is? And you know what I'm saying? Like it will affect you in a different.
It will affect me, and it will probably I would feel hurt.
Yes.
I would feel pain, and hence why I would start creating that narrative around him that is not real, like he's a jerk or he's whatever the fuck,
Yeah. And what I'm saying to you is, on a much, much smaller scale, if someone is interested in me, right? And I'm not giving them the finger, but I'm not giving them the vibe that I'm interested in them, I think they might take it as, okay, I don't want to see this guy again, because he's not even, he's like talking to me about he's talking to me like he just doesn't he doesn't find me attractive or something. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Do you wanna love and feel loved?
See, this is a whole other thing. This is a whole other thing. I don't. That is a whole other topic in itself. I don't. There's a possibility that I have a suspicion that I'm not capable of being in love and all this stuff. This is just not how I work.
There you go. There you go.
This is not how I work. Now, it just depends on what you mean by love. Like, there's people that like I think of it in terms of what I would do for you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had to, I had to go and put my life in danger for you, I might do it. Or I might give you my last money, or I might want to work really hard to make what your dreams come true or something like that. To me, this is how, I guess, is how I love. But this, other than this, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it means to be in love and And
yeah, of course you don't. Of course you don't. We don't know what we don't know.
yeah.
We just know what we know and what is familiar. And that's why when something different shows up in our reality, in our energy, and we don't recognize it, it is.
What you mean? Don't recognize it?
Because you have never experienced that before.
No. See, you got to hear what I'm saying. I have absolutely experienced being loved. Being loved. Absolutely. I'm talking about me loving someone.
But what about the other way around? If you
that's what I just said.
Yeah, exactly.
I have absolutely experienced people loving me.
So why do it's like you're having this wall that is, limiting yourself from loving someone else, or a woman in this case, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It, for me, what it points out, hypothetically, or it's like, what if it's like you're afraid of loving someone because in that way you might be rejected or abandoned. So it is much easier for you being loved. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm being a little resistant. Okay, but like, yeah, I don't know, like being rejected, maybe.
Yes, and you have to be open. You have to be. You have not in an obligation standpoint, but if you are open to, okay, so
but this has nothing to do with love. This is like, I'm not worried about being rejected for being loved. That's not.
I know, because you have already been loved several times in your life.
Yes.
So that is not the problem. That is not your problem. You're not worried about that. But from your side, what women might feel might not be linked to you not being interested in them, but not being willing to love them.
But so are you saying that this shows up immediately, even on the first meeting of someone?
No, it does not. That is very complex, because it does depend from where each individual stands in that moment. So if you have all these conditionings and the other person have all different conditionings, you cannot control that. You can only control yourself, and even that sometimes can be hard, as
because you jumped all the way to love. I'm talking about even just.
Yes, because women are wired for that. Most women are wired for that. I'm talking about a feminine women perspective.
Yeah.
And we want to be loved. We want to be taken. We want to be fucked. We want to be, we want everything.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Yes.
And there are some women that are, they have all these walls. They still have all these walls, and that's okay. They are shut off from the externals, so they don't open themselves. They are completely afraid of receiving love and love as well. But inside them, they know, and that's what I was asking previously. Is it something that you think, or is it something that you know? Because we know. In the end of the day, we know. Unless we don't want to know yet.
You know, unless you don't want to know. Okay. So what I'm saying is, the thing is, right? if you, I don't know anything about Adam Levine, but I'm going back to him for a second, right? There's a difference between Adam Levine, like maybe he gets a whole bunch of women. I think he gets a whole bunch of women. I don't know what this.
He's highly attractive,
Yeah, so
He
he's
gets a lot
really
of
attractive.
attention.
He gets a lot of attention. A lot. He knows. A lot of women want him. And let's say that he gets around. That he sleeps with a lot of women and everything. I don't know, but let's say this is being a rock star, right?
Yeah.
Now you imagine that you heard that Adam Levine slept with a whole bunch of different women. Every time he's hitting on all of them, like putting the moves on, and then you imagine that he hangs out with you and then he doesn't do anything.
Of course he will do.
No. Not of course. I'm saying if he doesn't do this to you, right?
Okay.
You might think, well, what's going on? What you doing this with all these other?
Yeah, he's picking me.
He's not even trying anything with me. I'm all up in his dressing room or in the room with him, and he ain't even trying nothing. Wouldn't you feel like? Wouldn't you feel a certain? How would you feel about that?
That's what I was talking about the being familiar or not being familiar. For me, in that moment, that would be probably would appear awkward and like very hard to believe that Adam Levine would just, oh my God, is interested in me, feels he finds me attractive or so. Because what I had been living thus far was a completely different reality,
What you
now
mean? What you mean?
I mean that what I see that I would be feeling in this specific case is like I would see like Adam Levine like superior than me, someone that is above me, someone that is unreachable, and somehow because he's feeling attracted and he's
no. I just said to you, he's going around, he's sleeping with a whole bunch of other women. You hear these rumors. He's a very sexual person. He's sleeping with a whole bunch of different women or whatever, right? And then you find yourself in a room with him and he doesn't try anything.
Okay, got it. He didn't try anything. Why? What would I feel?
Yeah.
Actually, I would feel like I was being someone, I was reflecting something about him that probably he wasn't conscious about it and somehow inhibited him to, trying to go further than that. I wouldn't be seeing that, but I did in the past. I would see that like I would have a problem. But now, currently, I would be seeing that as a problem because I know who I am.
So you're saying that you know now, but in the past, you might have you're saying you would have felt. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you might have felt rejected.
Completely abandoned, rejected. Like
he can't abandon you because you don't know him. He can't abandon you. He can reject you, but y'all don't have any relationship. You don't know this man. He can't abandon you. But like he
but
can definitely.
I would perceive that in the past, like from the very first moment, if the man wouldn't be doing like something that I would consider normal, then I would obviously
what's normal? What's normal?
Like engaging with me, like what is being socially seeing as the normal of engaging with, you know?
I don't know. No, I don't know what that means. What? No.
Let me check if I have an example. Like, for example, someone, just a guy, a man sends me a message, WhatsApp, Messenger, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go and have a coffee? That was with most. That's the narrative that is more common to happen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would go and have this coffee if I feel so.
Mm-hmm.
And if that really happened, and if that happened, then I would probably expect things to go in a certain way, because I have seen on the collective and on social happen that way. But
in a certain way, being what?
Being like kind, like fake. Basically, that is completely fake.
What you mean fake? What you mean?
I mean fake because
you were just saying normal. Like how's it, you saying?
But what is perceived by being normal?
This is your word. This is what you said. You said normal. What is normal?
What is normal is what's happening. What happens every day in most everyday lives.
You see you going too far outside of it. Stay within your scenario, right? You said the guy writes to you and he invites you out for coffee, and you meet him for coffee, and then what do you expect to happen next?
I expect a coffee.
And then what?
I expect a man that speaks about whatever he wants to speak, regardless who I am. Doesn't have any.
You giving me the coach answer. You giving me the coach answer right now. I'm talking about a guy asked you out essentially on a date, right? Essentially, he asked you on a coffee date. Right?
Yeah.
What do you expect him to do?
It's not about what I expect him to do. It's more about what I think he wants.
What do you think he wants? What do you think he wants?
Sex.
Right. So
he wants to get laid. Yeah.
Right. Now let's say the reason that you accepted this coffee date is because he's kind of cute. He's kind of cute. You know what I mean? I'll go on this date with him. I'll see what's up, right? And then you get on the coffee date and he doesn't try whatever it is to get towards this.
What I thought he would be getting. Yeah.
Yes. How would you
that would make me feel like intrigued.
Oh, okay.
Intrigued. And probably would make me feel to know more about that man. And probably I would be open to another second coffee or so.
Yes. Interesting.
That's what I would be probably doing. Yeah.
Okay. So you go on the second coffee date. Right? And I'm just making something up.
I'm not saying it cannot happen on the first date. It can.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'm
it can
saying,
happen. I'm just like, oh my God, yeah, he wants to get late. I want to get late. Let's just do it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying is, he asked you on the coffee date. You go on the coffee date. You're sitting outside. Then all of a sudden it starts raining, and then you say, "Oh well, I live right down the street. Let's just go back to my place, and I'm enjoying that conversation. I live down the street. Let's just go in my place and get out of the rain, right?"
Hmm.
And then he just keeps talking to you, and he just keeps talking to you about
Okay.
very normal things. You know what I mean?
I know.
And then what you think? What you think?
It,
You find it intriguing?
no. No.
So now you understand what I think is happening.
And I told you right in the beginning, you don't have a problem.
No. Because let's say in his mind, in my mind, right?
Mm.
I'm this guy. I'm this guy,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
And okay, so now we've established that I asked you on this coffee date. We go have the coffee. I talk to you normally. It starts raining. You're saying you're open to it, like he's kind of cute, you know. I like his music, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I might, if something, I could be open to something going down, right?
Yes,
So, yes,
if I'm open, and I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so now it starts to rain, and then we go back to your place, and
Mm.
then I continue talking to you about uh house music or DJing or podcasting, how or whatever it is that you're interested in, because I'm always interested in what other people are interested in. And I'm all excited about what you're trying to do. Because now I'm giving you like a real scenario, right? So then let me show you what I learned about this. And I'm talking to you about very, very normal stuff. Like very, very
Yeah, like
normal.
your preferences, what you like, and blah blah
No, no,
blah.
no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
No.
no, no. I'm talking to you about doing the podcasting, about music, about things that like stuff that maybe your dreams. And I say, oh, I might know this person that I could introduce you to that you could
Mm-hmm.
do this or whatever. And I'm just talking to you about stuff like this.
Okay. So would I be attracted to you in that sense? Correct.
Yeah. What do you
No,
happen?
I would. No, I would feel that you were moving towards a dimension that does not resembles or does not matches to anything intimate, if you know what I mean.
Right. Now, now, now that's because okay, you think I'm an interesting person, and then you might be open to a friendship. Now you're like, okay, he's not interested in me. Would you think he's not interested in me? Or me?
Not
Would you
not
think?
not from not. I wouldn't immediately think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would be just willing to be open and just to see the how it will, develop from there. But in that moment, in that specific moment, from the
Uh-huh.
situation that you are bringing in,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't feel like something would be happening from that arena, from
Uh-huh.
the more intimate arena.
Uh-huh. But the door would be still open to you. You just say, okay, that's the
Yeah, it would
day.
be open like for a friendship, like someone that I like talking with this guy.
Okay, open to a friendship or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for you,
Cool.
you would just before you were like, I might. I might be interested in us taking a little nap together, right? You know what I'm saying? Like a little afternoon.
So you are saying on your side that you would be interested
No,
in
no, no.
taking a
I'm
little
saying
nap?
on
No.
your side. I'm saying on your
Okay.
side.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
saying you. We met. We don't forget your scenario.
Yep.
I wrote to you about the coffee date, right? Or maybe I didn't even use the word date, but I said let's meet for coffee.
Exactly.
And you're thinking he's kind of cute, you know. If things go in the right direction, you know what I mean. If as long as he doesn't say anything stupid, he might get lucky today, right? I'm picking this coffee place because sometimes we do this. You pick the coffee place that's near your house. You know what I mean, just in case, so that if the things are going in the right direction, I'm gonna invite him back to my place or whatever, right? I'm sure you've been in this has happened before, right? You
Of
started off.
course, this has happened has happened
Yes.
before.
Okay. So what I'm saying to you is, and then I come back to your place and you're like, okay, I'm ready for something to happen. This is why I invited you to my place. And you are talking to me about bass lines and drum machines, and I'm trying to do something else.
So I bring into my house.
Yes.
And I'm talking about all that stuff that you just said.
No, I'm talking about it. You bring me to my house and I'm talking about that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then?
But you in your mind, you were like, yeah, I'm trying to make something happen. I'm trying to, you know.
This is so interesting because it's like you are talking to a part of me, a dálida that existed in the past.
Yes.
That I am no longer
Well,
that way, and I don't operate that way.
Yes. Okay. That's great. The dálida in the
Dálida.
past. Let's talk about the one in the past.
Okay. So you would be coming to my home and you would start talking about all that shit, all that preferences.
See how you even refer.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I would completely just turned off. I would feel turned off about it.
Yes.
And it's not. It's not about you. It's just like I am just being in integrity with my turn off and turn on signals from my body, from my being, from from my energy.
Yes.
And if my energy says turn off, it's turned off.
Yes. Yes. And so what I'm saying is, I think this is what my problem is. I think this is what my problem is. I talk to when the moment is meant to be something else. I'm not paying attention to what's going on. And I start talking about, I just keep going on in my normal line of thinking.
I would say if you were having that experience in real time, eventually I would say, listen, don't feel bad about this, but shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. If you want to have someone with some woman, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Like it's too much. It's too much content, Perhaps it can work with some women. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's like I was saying before, when women are connected and embodied in with themselves, they don't want that shit from the beginning, or it's not that they don't appreciate. They do appreciate, but they immediately will put you in the friendship box.
Yes. 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 This is the problem. Yes. So I mean, it took a long time to get you there, but this is what I'm saying. To me, this is a very this is a very common scenario for me. Now where it comes from is a couple different things, because like one part of it is that I'm shy, right? And in a lot of ways, I'm just very. I don't assume she didn't come over here just because she went. I can't assume this. I think she, it was really raining. She invited me over to her place because it's raining.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm thinking these things. So I shouldn't try anything. I shouldn't do anything. Just, you know what I mean? Or I'm thinking, yeah, we got plenty of time. We have plenty of time to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's the mix of all of these things. But what I'm saying to you is, all for whatever the reason is, when it in my head, whatever the reason is going on in my head, or things that I might not even be conscious of, how she might perceive it is like, dude, why are you talking? You're in my apartment. Like, we're in here wet. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking, and we shouldn't be talking right now, And this is what my problem is. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. And now in your, maybe the idea that I'm saying that they feel rejected is, some, they might not even be thinking in terms of rejected. They'll just be like, this dude he's just lame. He don't even know what to do. He's here. He don't even know what to do,
Mostly it's about the energy, They feel like you have this limp energy. You don't have that erected energy that they are.
Yeah, see?
They want, they need that.
Yes. 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 This is, so now you get it. Now you get it.
Yes, I do.
Okay. It only took an hour to get there.
I was just pointing out and trying to see all other nuances behind. But I had seen that from the beginning, that you were having this problem with women.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. The energy speaks louder than words, speaks louder than actions. And there is this non-verbal communication that happens when we are on a dynamic. And women, they can sense it, they can feel it. Also, men can feel it. But immediately they can sense that, no, they are completely turned off by the energy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem. Now, and now, now you know what the problem is.
I know.
You understand what the problem is, and you think that, what would be your suggestion? What's your suggestion? Just wait for the woman who, because I can tell you that, like, very, very often the scenario also is that maybe they're not turned off. They don't like that nothing is happening, but they're not turned off. They're just like, yo, can you just come over here and, you know what I mean, take my shirt off? You know what I'm saying? Can you come over here and just, I need my back hurts a little bit. I need a little, can you give me a little, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll set things in motion.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from what you are sharing, it's like you are allowing women to lead instead you. No?
Yeah. I think this is, when you say it like this, it sounds horrible.
Exactly.
It's
because
horrible.
you are allowing women to choose.
Yeah.
And you are allowing women to lead.
Yeah.
And that's why it makes you feel uncomfortable, because you know it is true. It is true that
I
somehow
feel
you don't.
uncomfortable now. Yeah. Right now I feel uncomfortable, but like in the moment I'm not even thinking about it. But yeah.
Yeah, and somehow because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And this might not be true, but that uncomfortable. If you are feeling uncomfortable, it's because there is pain. There is pain beneath that. There is something that is hidden. That is, you haven't touched that or whatever, and you are not willing to go there yet.
What you mean by there yet?
It's like, I don't know if you had leading examples from in your childhood and during your growth process of good leading examples, like people that were leading their lives. I have no idea. I'm just asking you that.
Well, you mean, you can expand it out, because you can't expand it outside of this scenario, because obviously I do what I want in all other aspects. I do what I want. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I couldn't have, moved. I move where I want. I live where I want. You know what I mean? I make the music that I want.
That is what you do, like, easily.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the intimate dimension, it's not that way.
Yeah. And
because what you want to do, you do it because you want to do it, and you move from one country to another, and do music and do that. But when there's another element coming into your reality, and that element somehow, it is something that you want, or something that you want to experience in your life, and somehow you are having all this pattern over, you are living this pattern all over and over again, and you feel that you are putting in a friendship box, and you have no idea what is happening. So that's why it becomes a problem, because you don't want to live that over and over again. You want to live and experience a different thing.
Yes.
And in order to do so, and in order to live that, you have to lead yourself. Not you have to, because this is the thing that sometimes that we all go through. That is, okay, so in order this reality to be different, then I have to this, then must to try to, and that is not about trying. That is not about doing something that someone is doing that is having the same result or outcome that you wish you would be having for yourself. It's really about being you and lead your life the way you want it. So if you want to go, now let's go back to the situation where it's raining and I'm inviting you to my place, and you instead starting speaking about all that blah 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 blah, which might be interesting, but for me, if I'm taking you into my place, I might be interested in you. I might be going. I might want to go deeper with you. But if you suddenly start talking about all that all those subjects that have no
Yeah,
doesn't match, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying, and I'm not suggesting and saying you to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that you are, it's like you are applying
Mm-hmm.
something
Mm-hmm.
in hopes that, I don't know, something turns out to be different or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
You're putting your power in that person outside
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Um. I don't want to say I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm going to toot my but I am going to toot my horn for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was younger, when I was a little kid or whatever, right? I had this thought that I wasn't an attractive person, right? So this is something that I have dealt with my whole life. I really thought I wasn't attractive, right? Even growing up, I can look back now. I Yeah, I'm older now, but like I can look back over my life and I can look at the women that I've had in my life that have lingered around and and once I realized what my status was, like maybe status also helped me look better or whatever, but you know, um, at a certain point in time in my life, if you can imagine, I'm making this music. I got these songs out. Like people know who I am. I'm working. Back in Philadelphia, I worked in a really popular club at the same time, and I was just everywhere on the streets. I was in the streets. You know what I mean? Like I was around. But I wasn't aware of my status. I thought I was, so let's say, always in the back of my mind, don't get too, you know what I mean? You not that cute. You not handsome. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So, and even though people might have been thinking about me a certain, I've come to recognize that I'm a lot more attractive than I actually think that I am, right? But the and I mean I can say this objectively by the kind of women that I can attract. You know what I mean? Like I definitely can attract some beautiful women. But I think that somewhere inside of me, I am expecting possibly to be rejected, so I don't even approach it like it's a possibility, and so I don't even go down that road, and I just wait for her to give me some clear signal or whatever, and it's not all women will do that. Like some women will do it, and then a lot of women won't do it. They're just like, dude, I'm here. Like this is all that I'm going to do. Like I got you back to my place. Now you got to take it from here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Leads,
yes,
leads,
yes, yes, yes.
leads, and like I was saying, uh, and this is not a strategy, you know. This isn't a strategy. And that's what makes everything even more nuanced and
Well, it has
complex.
to become a strategy. I mean, for me, if I wanted to have a different outcome, it would have to be a strategy for me because my natural instinct is to do what I do.
But even that is what you think it's your natural way to do what you do
Mm-hmm.
can be a fabricated thing that you have created in your life. I myself I think about that when I reflect about myself and all the things and blah in my life, and I come to a point that even who I think I am, I am not. I am a product from many, 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 many experiences that I have lived during my life that made me who I am today. But who I am, it's a product, but who I am, my being. So let me put this into different dimensions. Human being. Human, it's our conditioned part. Being is who we really are. But we need the human to have our life. But our being knows exactly what is for us, what turns on or turns off. But our human, and because our being has this human helmet around it that does not allow the being. It's not that it doesn't allow the being. Sometimes the human gets stronger than the being, and sometimes we believe that the human that we are is who we are. And that's when things get all this messy, because we all are human beings, but some are being humans and some are being beings.
Okay. So that's the theoretical, but I want to take it back to the practical for a second or whatever.
Okay.
Right now, then there's this aspect that we, there was a time where are you again?
In Algarve, in Faro, Portugal.
Portugal, right? Now,
Portugal.
You're in you're in the Mediterranean. It's Mediterranean, right? Like
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there's a different vibe going on there, right? Or whatever. But like maybe there's from a cultural standpoint, men act a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like you understand? Now I'm coming out of this scenario, like the more recent scenario where all of this stuff was a no-no. All of this stuff was a no-no where you are more often encouraged to let her don't you take it, you know what I'm saying? This is now things have loosened up a little bit now, but we had quite a few years of this, right?
Yeah.
And now the reality of this is it actually only applied to certain guys, right? This is my theory. This only really applied to certain guys. Some guys, it is perfectly fine for them to try to put the moves on the girl because they find them attractive, and these are the kind of guys that they're interested in. So of course, they want them to try these things within reason, like not like overly aggressive, but you know what I'm saying, like
Yep.
Then there's these, but there's the other guys where you're not really so attracted to them. So of course don't try anything. Be very, cautious and gentle and all of this different kind of stuff. And I think one of the problems that I had is I thought I was one of these guys when I am actually the other guy.
The other one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I thought I'm the guy that's supposed to be the gentle, waiting, you know what I'm saying, guy.
The way you have your programming, the conditioning, the thing that you received. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
See?
That's why I was saying, like, when I'm reflecting on myself, I just like, and what if I had been born in another country?
Mm-hmm.
I would have received a completely different programming according to the culture, according to the people that were around me. So who am I really? No, this is the conditioning. My human is the conditioning, is the persona that I have built and have created to survive. But that's not who I am. But when it comes to this, the relationship and love arena, we go there with a human. You know, when our beings are already telling us what is, if we are turned on or if we are turned off. And the turn on is simply the truth. The truth, and our beings know what is the truth. Right. Our human just knows the condition, and the condition can be very complex, depending on where you were born. And if you are a homeless, you have a conditioning, but completely different conditioning that I have and you have. You know, and assuming that we are talking about, like, not from that specific area, from the homeless area, but we are just like normal human beings going along with our lives, having our social lives, and we are still, and most of us are still trying to engage and communicate through the human, and the human is here to survive. So if the human wants to survive, there's always a gain on the back. There's always a gain on the back. Okay. But when you don't let your human take over whatever you are doing, and you just lead from your being, not from your human. Of course you are human. I'm not saying to ditch the human part of you, of course not. But when you lead from your being, and it's not because of your values, and I'm not talking about values and not stuff, from your being, from the truth from your being, then the women around you will probably feel uncomfortable from the truth stemming from your being. And that will make some feel really, really uncomfortable, and just like they walk away like, oh my God, this is too much intensity, too much tension from my being, and I'm just walk away for the human. But there will be a woman mingled in all these ones that is aching for that truth, aching for that being. And also, she knows that she has that human side, and she also knows she has that human side, but she's not allowing that human to. It's like you're not. It's like you're not on the driver's seats from your life. You are on the next,
on the passenger side.
On the passenger side, and your human is taking the lead, and your human and your physiology and whatever, they will keep the score.
Okay.
And now I'm telling you this. I'm telling you, and I'm sharing you this because I have been also that woman. I have been also that woman that would go into these meetings and social events, and I would approach guys, and because there was a narrative playing on my mind, and I had no idea which one was it until I recognized which one was it. That was this, like, for example, where I live is, I don't know if it happens in your country or where you are currently based currently. It's like the basic stuff, like get a job, find a woman, get married, have children, and then live till that was part or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That is what humans have been programmed to, and I know that I've received that programming from my childhood. Like even watching my parents having this completely dysfunctional dynamic and staying together, nevertheless. I remember being a child and I was watching that and I was like, man, this does not make any sense. Why are they together if they are not getting along, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I did receive that kind of information, and my unconscious received all that programming that has been that at a certain point of my life, it was ruling my life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I was saying. When what isn't conscious becomes conscious, then it's when you have the opportunity to change something. Because otherwise, it's still ruling your life, and you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I do currently. I know there are things that are ruling my life, and that's okay. I'm in peace with that, and I just know what I know. And for me, it's about experience life. It's about knowing myself from all the dimensions, possible dimensions, in a truthful way, honest way. And when I say truthful, it's not something that has been fabricated. It's not something that comes in a dictionary. And if you go to Google and if you look for the definition of integrity of truth, that would say something. And so people stick to that, and even that is distorted because the truth is the truth, and the truth can only happen in the moment. I I could yesterday I could have said like no to something, but today can be a yes because the energy completely changed, and now yesterday I didn't want to do that, but now I do. But for the majority of humans, this is just like, oh no, I cannot live that way. That is not. That is very unstable. That is not um, secure, because the being wants to do whatever it's calling to do in every moment, and that's the truth. But our human, when we let our human kicked in, then it's when the shit show happens.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Okay.
I would say, or it's not that I would recommend for you, but shut the fuck up.
This is not an interview. There is no format. This is simply a conversation about life.